The Arlington National Cemetery employee involved in the fracas with the Trump campaign on Monday is not filing charges because she fears retaliation from MAGA. Chris Graham here from Augusta Free Press. So the story here on Thursday, 3 days into Arlington Cemetery Gate, is that the female, and there's news there, the female Arlington National Cemetery employee who was abruptly pushed aside, quote unquote, according to the U.S. Army, by a Donald Trump campaign staffer as the ex-president was filming a commercial on the hallowed grounds on Monday, isn't filing charges because she fears retaliation from Trump's MAGA supporters. Now, that's perhaps not surprising for anyone who remembers what the MAGA people did on January 6, 2021, overrunning Capitol Police and threatening to hang then Vice President Mike Pence. It's hard to blame her, to be honest. The U.S. Army issued a statement on Thursday defending the unnamed employee, who, according to the statement, quote, attempted to ensure adherence to federal laws, Army regulations, and DoD policies, which clearly prohibit political activities on cemetery grounds. Consistent with the decorum expected at ANC, the statement goes on, this employee acted with professionalism and avoided further disruption. This incident was reported to the JBM-HH Police Department, but the employee subsequently decided not to press charges. Therefore, the Army considers this matter closed. Close quote. It might be closed as far as the Army is concerned, but the fallout for Trump and his campaign is far from being over and done with. Even without the part of the story involving a campaign staffer shoving a cemetery employee, the stunt was already over the line. The stunt being filming a campaign commercial to promote a crass effort by Trump to politicize the third anniversary of the deaths of 13 service members killed in a suicide bomb attack in Afghanistan. Trump has tried to pin the blame entirely for the bombing entirely on the Biden administration. Excuse me. A 2023 State Department report on the attack put the blame on both Biden and Trump and their administrations, concluding that, quote, the decisions of both President Trump and President Biden to end the U.S. military aggression in Afghanistan had serious consequences for the viability of the Afghan government and its security. Now, after the failed January 6th insurrection, Trump completed his administration's drawdown of U.S. troops in Afghanistan, leaving just 2,500 military personnel in the country, the lowest level since the war started in 2001, despite warnings from congressional Republicans, led by the Senate Intelligence Committee's ranking Republican member, Marco Rubio from Florida. Rubio said the drawdown would lead to, quote, a Saigon-type situation, which is, of course, what we ended up seeing. The situation that Rubio forewarned was aided by a key win for the Taliban in the February 2020 agreement negotiated by the Trump administration with the Taliban, which gave 5,000 Taliban fighters their release. Those Taliban fighters had been held by the U.S.-backed Afghan government. Amrullah Saleh, then Afghanistan's first vice president, told the BBC in January 2021 that Afghan leaders had told Trump officials that, quote, violence will spike with the release of the prisoners, and that as Trump completed his drawdown, indeed, quote, violence has spiked, Saleh said. Now, back to the story about the commercial shoot then that the Army is confirming broke federal law. Family members who were on hand for the commercial shoot have since said that they invited Trump and gave approval for his photographer and videographer to record. Now, family members giving approval, of course, doesn't supersede federal law. And included in the group were people who spoke in support of Trump at the Republican National Convention last month. So, yes, their support is entirely political, and that's fine. It's a free country. You can be political, but you can't override federal law just because you say that you want to have him on premises that you're not allowed to shoot a political commercial on. NPR, incidentally, reported Thursday that it has learned that the family of a Green Beret who died by suicide and whose headstone is visible in the pictures and videos posted by the campaign did not give permission to be included in the commercial spot. But now the matter is considered closed by the U.S. Army because Trump's MAGA army has people living in fear. If you have anything for us to look into story-wise, if you have any comments, any questions, please feel free to email me at chris@augustafreepress.com.